Welcome to our tutorial on DrivenCRM Reporting Management.
We'll get started by logging into the CRM using your assigned user credentials. I'm going to start by creating a new dashboard workspace that displays the current reports that are in the CRM. To do that, I'll select the Add a Workspace icon shown here, and I'll type a name for my workspace indicating it is showing CRM reports. I'm starting the description with 00, because I want this workspace tab to show first in the list since they are sorted alphabetically. I'll also break the workspace into two panels. For the first panel, I'll set it up so it is showing reports assigned to me. I'll select the My Items category, then I'll select my report list at the bottom and select it. My workspace will then contain a list of my reports at the top. I'm going to again repeat this process for the lower panel, however in this panel I'm going to show all public reports in the CRM. Again I'll select My Items as the category and I'll select the Public Reports option at the bottom. Now my workspace will refresh. I can see that public CRM reports are now available at the bottom. And for convenience, reports assigned to me are shown at the top. All the standard dashboard features are available, such as searching for a report by entering a word that appears in the title of the report like this. You can also sort the reports, move columns, and so forth. If you haven't watched the video on dashboard setup yet, it will fill you on all the available features related to customizing your dashboard. You'll find that video on our website. Let's move on to creating our first report together. I'll start by selecting the hamburger menu at the top left of the dashboard and select Reporting Center to begin. The main report management screen shows a list of all CRM reports with a tree view on the left with the different organization options available. Choosing an option shows reports related to the selection, such as reports that are dashboard enabled, and so forth. Take a moment to explore the various options and get familiar with the options that are available. The My Reports area is a convenient way to work with your specific reports, and you can also tag reports as a favorite for even easier access. When you select a report, the hamburger menu related to reports will automatically expand with the options that are available for the report, such as running the report, editing, copying, and tagging as a favorite. You can also browse reports by user access role, such as sales, marketing, service, and more. These roles are selectable during report creation or editing. You can also browse reports by data type, which means the type of data the report is based on, such as sales orders or service contracts. A count indicator next to the data type indicates how many existing reports are based on this data type. And finally, you can browse reports by user. If you are an administrator or manager, all users with reports are selectable. At any time you can use the column headers to filter and search for a report by options such as title and any other column header listed in the report grid. Once you've located your desired report, selecting it will automatically open the hamburger menu with your available options as we discussed before. You can use the refresh icon in the toolbar at any time to refresh the entire report list. When no report has been selected, the only option in the menu is to create a new report. Let's create a new CRM report. Creating a new CRM report starts with selecting a report category. You can select a category from the list, or as an administrator you can use the Modify List option to create, edit, or rearrange existing categories. I'll select the Add icon and create a new report category called Performance Reports for this example. Remember in the CRM screens to always use the green check mark to save or the red X to cancel. I'll select the category I just created and next I'll enter a descriptive report title for my new report. For this example, I'm going to create a report of quotes that have been generated in the last 30 days. Make sure your report title is brief but also descriptive. You'll then specify the report user or owner. By default, the report is multi-user or otherwise known as public. Next, the report logo and company address can be added to the report header. One of the most important selections for the report is the Based On setting, which controls the dataset the report will pull from. The CRM has a large number of datasets that it manages. Everything from marketing and leads to quotes and orders, inventory and purchasing, and more. Some of the datasets are header-based, such as quotes and sales orders, which means that the line items that belong to them are in a different dataset. Some of the datasets, such as tasks, are more simple. For this report, I'm going to choose the quotes and sales order, which is a header-based dataset. The report display refreshes with more setting options. We can choose the security role matches for the report from this area. By setting Dashboard Enabled, we can enable users to publish this report to their dashboards. The other role selections are used for public reports and will match the individual user's security roles. Next, we will need to choose which data fields we want to display in our report. The report display will highlight the most popular fields for each dataset in bold. So if you are unsure which fields to start with, look for the bold fields, which are the most popular. Most of the field descriptions are self-explanatory, but you may need to experiment with the different fields. I mentioned that some datasets are header-based, such as this one, but the report writer also has an option to automatically join in another related dataset. The datasets that are displayed here can be selected and will automatically link together, with the Based On selection remaining the primary selection. When a duplicate data field exists in both datasets, the one displayed in the selection will always be based on the primary dataset. In other words, the two datasets are now merged, and the fields we can select from are a combination of both datasets. You can see now the list has fields related to the quotes and sales orders headers, but also lists specific fields related to the line items, so we can now report on both at the same time. I'll mention that you could have started the report based on the sales order line items, but it may not have the header fields you are looking to report on, so combining datasets is the answer to that problem. I'm now going to choose all of the desired fields for my report and will choose various fields related to the account, dates, and items that I'd like to see. It's important also that if you will be sorting or grouping the report later in this process, that you select that field in this area. For example, I know I'll want to sort and group this report by sales rep, so I'm going to make sure it is one of the data fields that I have selected. You can simply touch a field to select it or use the helpful arrows as well. Next, we are going to filter the reports so it only shows the records that we are interested in seeing, which is in the Data Filter selection area. You can filter the report by any field even if it is not one you have selected for display. I'm going to choose quotation date since I only want records within a certain time frame. The operator dialog specifies whether you'll be looking for records that are equal, greater than, less than, and all the other options that you can see here. I'm going to choose greater than or equal to for this report. Next is function type. Standard indicates that the value I will be looking for is a date that I'll specify here. The report writer also has an option where I can specify that I'll want to pick a date when I run the report. This feature is called Ask Me When I Run It. I'll go ahead and specify that option for this report to show you how it works. Next, I'll want to add a filter for the confirmed sales order field since I am only looking for records that are quotations, and this dataset contains both quotations and sales orders. I'll specify that I only want records where the confirmed order field is no. For now, we're leaving the rightmost selection setting at end, which means both of our two conditions must match for a record to output into our report. We can continue on, and we can build up to 10 filters for our report based on what your needs are. Two of the most challenging aspects for reporting in any system are learning what the individual fields are and also creating the proper filters so we only get the data we are looking for. An additional challenge is the proper use of the OR operator. For example, let us say in addition to records that have a quotation date and are a confirmed order, we also want records where a custom status field is a specified value or another value. The challenge for us is that the OR operator takes priority. This requires that we wrap our OR operator in the proper parenthesis, similar to a math formula. Everything inside the parenthesis is evaluated first, then the result becomes part of the filter. You can see I'm telling the system that I want to include records where the custom status is new quotation or the custom status is pending review. The result of that OR operator will then be combined with the quotation date and confirmed order filters above. In the second line of the filter, I've specified the start of the parenthesis, so it is important to set the ending parenthesis. If we had more custom status values, we would continue defining them with more ORs. And if perhaps we wanted to add more filters, we could specify the end of the parenthesis, combined with the next operator based on our needs. As a general guideline, you should group all of your similar filters together, such as shown here where our quotation date and confirmed order are together and our custom status or selections are also together. What usually happens is that once you set up your filters, your needs will change and you'll need to add more filters below. So just remember to manage the and/or operators appropriately. Moving on, we can now select the primary sorting field and secondary sorting fields for our report. Choose the field and the ascending or descending option shown here as A to Z. The A to Z usually means older records first and the other option means newer records first. Remember that these fields must have been chosen in your output fields. You can also specify how you would like your records grouped together. In this case, I would like them grouped by the sales rep field. When grouping, you can use the subtotal option and choose a value to have the report perform totals and subtotals for you. To review, I have selected my desired output fields and I will have the report sorting by the fields I have indicated and will have the report total and subtotal based on the quote amount. The report will be sorting by the sales rep as the primary sort and will perform a secondary sort on the quotation date. Take a moment to review all of your report field selections, filters, sorting, and totals. For now, just ignore the options at the very bottom of the report editor, as we'll discuss those coming up soon. We're ready to run the report. Press the lightning bolt icon, which both saves the report changes and runs it immediately. Remember, we told our report that we wanted it to ask us at runtime for the quotation date value. The red dashed box around the value field tells us we need to specify our desired date. Always enter dates in the CRM as year, then month, then day, as shown here. Once you have entered the desired date, you can specify whether you would like to output to the screen or if you would like the CRM to generate an Excel file with the output. Make your appropriate selection and use the green check mark to run the report. Notice that a message has displayed indicating a critical report error has occurred. It's okay, and I purposely let the system generate this message to show you what to do next. This message usually always means your filter selections inside of the report are not logical and need some adjusting. To do that, you'll re-enter the report editing. What has happened is my end parenthesis was not set correctly as if I was going to continue with more options in the filter, but did not. I'll go ahead and adjust my parenthesis to the proper setting. Then I'll use the lightning bolt icon to save and run and will enter my desired quotation date again and run the report. My report outputs the data that I am looking for. Remember that I had specified that it be grouped by the sales rep assigned to the quotation and that I wanted totals and grand total values for the quotation amount. For convenience, the CRM automatically includes hyperlinks to the individual orders in the report that bring you directly to the order listed on the report output. This feature is automatic, and when the CRM detects the output is linked to a CRM record, it automatically includes the appropriate link. For this next example, I'm going to modify our existing report and set it up so it automatically computes the date instead of manually entering it. I'll change the descriptive title of the report to mention we're looking for 120 days of activity. I'll scroll down to the filters area of the report where our quotation date field is specified. The report writer has a feature where values can be calculated automatically, and you'll use the function type dialog to specify the calculated option to do this. Blank out any existing text in the value box and it will now refresh with the options for automatic calculations. I'll choose the option for date -120. The report will now automatically calculate this value when it runs. I'll now use the lightning bolt icon to save and run the report, and you'll notice that our output automatically shows the calculated results. Since we have more results to display, this also gives you a good example of how the data grouping and totals look. Using automatic calculated values is especially helpful when you've set the reports to run automatically, which we will discuss coming up. You can also output the results of the report to Microsoft Excel. To do this, select your desired report and select the Run the Report option. We'll move the output selection to Microsoft Excel and use the green check mark to run the report. We'll open our Microsoft Excel file to display the results. The data is purposefully exported in row and column format with minimum formatting so that you can benefit from all the tools Excel has to offer. Remember, when selecting an existing report, the hamburger menu displays helpful options, such as the ability to tag or untag the report as a favorite. Another very helpful tool is the ability to copy an existing report into a new report. Simply select the Copy Report option and the report writer opens in edit mode with a copy of the existing report. The title automatically ends with the word copy, which you can update accordingly. The report, I copied this from displayed quotations. I'm going to modify this copy of the report to display confirmed orders instead, which is almost the same once we adjust the data filters. I'll adjust the data filter from confirmed order that was no and set it to yes. I'm also going to want to remove the filter section for custom status because I no longer want to filter on that parameter. Since we are removing the OR operators, be careful to also remove the related parenthesis and set the ants on the right side back to default. Be sure to blank out any unwanted data in the value columns for the unused filters so that we are only left with the two filters, one for quotation date and one for confirmed orders. All of our other sorting, grouping, and total options will mostly remain the same. This is except for the secondary sort. I'm going to switch it to the order closing date instead of the quotation date since I'm now reporting on confirmed orders. Remember that since I'm going to be sorting or grouping on this field, I will need to go up into my field selections area to add it into the report. You can use the move up and down selectors to position the field in the spot you want it to appear on the report. I'm also going into the data filter section and change my filter criteria to look for close date instead of the quotation date. Remember that data filters work differently in that you can filter on any field even if it isn't selected for output. I'll keep my other field selections and my total on quote amount, which is the same as the order total. I'll use the lightning bolt to save and run the report. Notice now we only have the two filters we have specified. The output of the report is perfect and shows us all confirmed orders within the last 120 days. Each order ID is a hyperlink that I can use to explore the order details directly from the report. As I specified in the report, it is grouped by sales rep and contains subtotals on quote amount with a grand total at the bottom. Now I'm going to demonstrate how we can take our new report and have the system run it automatically and send us the results on a scheduled basis. To do that, I'll edit the report and scroll down towards the bottom and look for the section labeled Automatic Run. With the Automatic Run feature, I can schedule the CRM to email the results of the report automatically on the time frame indicated in the Run Cycle dropdown. You can choose to have it send you the report contents or a Microsoft Excel file, or you can select both. The next desired run time is when you can expect to receive the report, and finally the email section will be used to specify the individual email addresses to receive the results. You can include as many email addresses as you like separated with a comma. An important note is that automatic reports cannot ask for filter input, so all the filters must be either fixed or calculated. I have verified the filter criteria and I'll save the report and check my email. I received an email notification that my report is ready, and my report contains the content of the report in the body of the message. I see the report also has a data file attachment. Since I had specified that I wanted both a Microsoft Excel and the report body, the report also includes my Excel attachment as requested. Next, I'm going to demonstrate how we can take our report and publish it to our dashboard for easy access and visibility. Edit the report and look for the dashboard setting. Make sure the setting is set to Yes and save the report using the green check mark. Now return to the main CRM dashboard. Use the Add a Workspace icon to add a new workspace to our dashboard. I'll call it Orders for the last 120 days. The name of the new workspace should of course match the report criteria. For this example, I'll just leave it as a one-panel selection, but you could break it into multiple panels to display multiple reports together. Touch the area to configure the panel. Choose the My Items option. Then look for the option called Personal Report Dashboard and select it. The dashboard will refresh and an option drop-down will display a list of all reports that have the dashboard enabled set to Yes. You'll see we have our new report available, Orders within the last 120 days we can select. The CRM will now display this report permanently in our dashboard and will periodically refresh it for us. There is also a manual refresh icon to force an update to the report at any time. All the same features such as automatic hyperlinks to access the details are included in the report. In summary, automatic email and dashboard publishing are convenient ways to have quicker access to the reports you commonly need. For the final tutorial, we're going to add a graph to our report, such as a pie chart or line graph. To begin, scroll to the bottom of the report editor. Select the visualization option of either chart or both. I'll choose both so I get the chart and the report data together. Next, choose the type of chart you would like to display. I'll select a column-type chart like you would see in Microsoft Excel. The x-axis on a chart is the part that runs horizontally from the bottom left and is usually the field you are grouping by, like the sales rep. The y-axis on a chart starts at the bottom left and goes upwards towards the top. This is usually the numeric value such as quote amount. Remember, just like sorting and grouping, the X and Y axis fields must be selected in your output columns. If you don't do this, you'll receive an error message when you run the report. To review, I've enabled the chart option, specified the type and set my X and Y axis. However, instead of charting the quote amount, I'll want to chart the subtotals. Change the Y calculation option so it totals the amounts on the chart. There are also options if I want to chart the average quote amount, min and max, and so forth. And finally, you can set a limit for the top X number of results to display. Here I have specified the top 5 results, and returning to my dashboard, I'll use the manual refresh option to update the report. If you have a large report that would overload a graph with data points, use this option so your chart only displays the top X number of records so it remains readable. In the report editor, I specified that I wanted both the report and the chart, so below my chart is the actual report detail, just like I had before. This can be helpful to have both the chart and report together. I'll go back into the report editor and I'll choose a different chart type to demonstrate a pie chart instead. Edit the report, scroll to the bottom and simply choose the pie chart option from the list. The report writer offers a large variety of chart types you can experiment with. Then we'll just return to the dashboard and use the force refresh option to update the report. Our report refreshes and our pie chart shows the same data but in a pie format, with the same detailed report data below. It's up to you to choose a graph type that best represents the data you're reporting on. If we want to make our report screen even more simple, especially if we have multiple panels on the dashboard, we can temporarily hide the report detail that is below the chart. Move the option to Chart instead of both. Then we'll save the report and refresh the dashboard by using the Force Refresh option. Now, as we can see, the graph is the only part of the report visible. But what if you want to see the detail? You'll just simply touch any part of the chart and the report detail will open in a new window for you, showing the information we're familiar with. This concludes our training on DrivenCRM reporting management. Hopefully you have everything you need to know to create fantastic CRM reports. Happy reporting!
For more helpful videos, visit our website at www.notia.com.